Guns N' Roses with Seno and Titi on Trans Africa Radio. Made in Africa.
Seno was not impressed with what I was trying to do there.
You missed it, girl. You missed it. I know what you wanted to do, and I was checking if you gonna get it. It got you.
Yeah. Speaking about things that got you, the Saturday vibe, Saturday chills, we hope that you're having a good one because we certainly are. That was Click Viral featuring TIM and Cleo Ice Queen. It's called Maternity. Like, it is literally called Maternity. And if you're wondering about the video, you definitely should go check it out. It's playing everywhere. I see it everywhere, every time. But it's also on YouTube. You can check it out. And the guys are quite let's say free-spirited. Let's just leave it at that. They're very, very...
You know, I haven't watched TV in like forever. Yeah, but it's fine. I'm gonna go on YouTube and check out that video.
Exactly, because that is where the world is moving. Internet, and that is what you can also do. You can tell your friends to tell their friends and tell their exes to listen to us via transafricaradio.net. Or if you're using your mobile phone, you should go on to TAR Radio. I lie. TA Radio. The movie. Okay, so this is what's happening, right? Zwelethu is in studio. We've been telling you that we have a guest. Now we do have that guest in studio, and he's moving. I'm not sure why he's moving. If he thinks I can see through his head.
No, he's trying to look at what you are reading. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Kwasugela.
Nkosi.
There.
You need a fire.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So there was a young little boy, and this young little boy was so interested in directing and making films that one day he got a part in being... Okay. I just had chicken memory there. Like, anyways, I'm just trying to tell a story.
While he was a kid, right?
Well, yeah, I was just trying to tell a story. Anyways, he has directed most of the advertisements that you see on TV, and he has won Best South African Short Film at Zanzibar International Film Festival for The Hangman, among other accolades. Yes, I'm talking about Zwelethu Radebe.
She brought out a book on this one.
Yes, I did my research.
That's not you brought out the entire book all at once. Amazing.
Good day, Zwelethu. How you doing?
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me, guys. Jeez, I'm really excited to be here.
It's good to have you here.
It's been a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming.
I'm very happy to be here now. You know.
So what has been happening is that I met this young man not too long ago, and it's like we should have an interview. Like, we should talk. Like, it'd be really interesting to talk and just to get to know you, but while knowing you, getting to know you with the rest of the world. This is what we're doing right now. And that has been maybe a month or two ago. Yeah, I know.
It could even be longer.
It could even be longer, actually. That's true. But finally, we're here and we're going to get to know this South African director. Can I start with... Somebody said your name is not Radebe. It's Radebe because there is no H there.
No, so it's Radebe, and you some pronounce it Radebe, which is the Zulu. I am Zulu. Then there's R, which is the sometimes associated with the Xhosa, but it's Radebe, the way you pronounce it.
So as far as you're concerned,
there's no Radebe or Radebe. I've heard really many things from that, but it's
Radebe. That was the funniest one I heard. You went to AFDA.
Yes, I did.
For many of our listeners who obviously are not from South Africa listening, AFDA is a film institute. What does it fully stand for?
AFDA stands for, if I remember correctly, African Film and Dramatic Academy.
I was going to say, it's like, if I remember correctly, like when you went to the school. And then
I did, but it's been some time now. But I remember it's actually the South African School of Motion Picture. And then AFDA was just the acronym that they used.
They chose.
Yeah, but they never really used to use the acronym as the description of the school, which was interesting. Yeah.
School of Motion Picture. You think that the black people don't go to School of Motion Picture? We do. We do go to School of Motion Pictures, and we learn how to be directors, and we learn how to be script writers, and we learn how to become Zwelethu. So the Zwelethus of the world. One of them sitting right here in front of us. So before, after, I tried to watch some of your old interviews, just so I don't have to ask you all of the other questions, and I could just pretend like I knew you so well, but I don't, and neither do our listeners. Yeah. So tell me, before, after, who was Zweli? Can I call you Zweli?
Yeah, Zweli, that's what people call me. Zweli, Z.
Zweli Radebe.
It's like the Radebe Radebe thing. So
yeah, Zwelethu Radebe.
or Z. But it's who was I before
Before the film?
Before the filmmaking, I was just a young kid who really just had an imagination for things, you know. Before I made films, I think I was really into my sports. I was just a normal kid, man. I still think.
What's a normal kid? What sports did you play?
I played soccer. I ran.
You ran.
I did long distance. I did short distance running. I was actually good at the short distance more than the long distance.
So what position would you get?
I'd win.
Oh my goodness! So you be like number one.
Yeah, at one stage, I actually thought I was going to be a sports.
Oh my word! I never liked those number ones. I was always number three.
You know, so
just slightly come closer to your mic.
Oh, sorry.
Like, give it some love.
Sorry, man.
Heat.
You know? let me come really close.
You're close to your mic. Okay, we're not really close. Just into the mic. So you're telling us you used to be a sports person before, after, and now you decided. You know what? I saw that I was watching one of your interviews, and then you decided, you know what, I'm going to become a filmmaker. But then you went to do camera something first.
So what I did is what I used to do is basically was that my dad got this is how it actually really began. So film at home wasn't the thing that I ever would have thought of been doing because my dad didn't want us to watch movies. So we at home it was like he thought that, you know, films would like influence us in not the right way. So TV was like a secret thing that I would steal whenever I had a chance. You know, in the evening, like late at night when my parents were asleep. Yeah, and it sounds like a movie, but it's the truth. I used to do that.
And the volume would be like on
the volume would be down, and I would watch it because, you know, I'd never tell a child not to do something because you're gonna go and do that thing because you want to, you know,
Yeah.
you know, because it's like I was very interested and curious, so I would watch movies, and I think at that time late at night what would play on like SABC was like foreign language films. So the first films I used to watch was these South American foreign language or French foreign language movies, just because I was like interested in the stories that were being told, and it wasn't your blockbusters. So I wasn't watching Transformers. I was watching.
I can tell that from your work, though. But
yeah. So that was at the beginning, and then from there, I still didn't think I was going to be a filmmaker until when I was in grade. What grade was it? Grade 3. I don't know what how old you are then, but then I was
like 9 years old. Or
I think you're 9 or 10. So I was.
Oh, yeah.
I was then cast for a surf commercial at school.
Yeah, that's the one show. So
that's the one.
Surf commercial. Surf.
And then I played a famous cricket player at that time was Lance Kuzna. And then I had to act like I was him in the ad. And then I'm busy running around, and then I run into the dirt, and then my mom's like, "Why are you looking like this?" And then, you know, these washing powder ads. They're like, "No, don't I look like Lance?" Playing on the fact that he's a cricket player and he gets dirty because he's playing sport. So the mom was like, "Okay, sharp, you look like him, you like it, it's fine." And then she uses surf and she washes it, and then I'm all bright and Colgate smiling.
Okay,
you know?
but I want to know, if you say your parents were like against you watching TV, how is it that they took you to like for an advert?
So that came out to surprise. So I was quite a shy, reserved kind of kid. So my mom was like, it can't be my child. Maybe they wanted to be an extra. No. And I was the lead kid, you know? So I had these moments where like I think I was shy amongst people, but then when I would have to do something, the shyness would leave me, type of thing. So I did that, and then it became other ads that I did as well. There was, I think, an SABC2 thing that I was on, and then a few others. But then my dad was like, okay, let's see. Let's do it, you know?
Because they brought in the money, right?
I think so. Must have.
You didn't get the money.
How old was I? 10 years old?
Parents,
you know, I was just trying to say that they always take the money, and then if you ask mommy, what about the money? It's like
month
the
end,
food,
yeah,
your clothes. Are you going to pay me back for all of that? And then you just shut up. We're getting to know film director, South African film. No, go ahead.
I'm saying then that I still didn't even know I was going to be a filmmaker then. Even after being on set with all the cameras and all the lights, I was still like, okay, I just got lucky with this thing.
Oh, you were just making money.
Oh, I was just making money. Yeah.
We're going to get to know his entire story. He's with us for a while in studio. My name is Titi, and I'm hanging with Seno until 5 p.m. Central African time. We're talking with South African director. I lie. He's just a film director, so there's no boundaries to his creativity. And we want to get to know him better. Right now, he's been a bad kid because he used to steal TVs just to watch because his parents said, don't watch it. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to steal it. So I figure that let's play him some bad, shouldn't we? Yes.
So after the whole stealing TV and trying to watch what I couldn't watch, I said to my mom, okay, fine. when I get into, I think must have been 13. So actually, the funny thing is that the first time I went to a movie was actually when I was 13 years old. A cinema. This is what I mean.
Okay.
So which was quite late for a young person to watch a movie. And also then I decided to say that I'm going to my friend's house. And then we went to the movies, and then I didn't even know how to buy a movie ticket, which was funny enough. I remember being so embarrassed, like, okay, how do you do this? Where do you go? You know? And then we went there, we watched, I don't know what we watched, I think some horror movie. And then
your first movie, and you choose a horror.
And it was a horror, and I was like, geez, I shouldn't have chosen this. I wanted to walk out there, because horrors, even as a filmmaker, I still get the, it's still quite like fearful in a way. But so then I said to my mom, cool, I want to go to film school. At that time, I didn't even think there was film schools in South Africa. So I thought, shucks, if I'm going to go to study film, because this is what I really want to do, I'm going to have to go overseas. It's going to cost a lot of money. So I said to her, cool, it's 5 years. Let's save. Let's see, And then I found out because my sister went to...
Oh, my commercial money. Bring it out.
Yeah, bring it out. And then she was like, no, we've got... my sister went to AAA, which was an advertising school.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, but there's a film school. Why don't you go there? And then I was like, oh, I didn't know about it. So I went to like a open day. And the next minute I was like, wow, this is everything I want to do. And then I was there the first year, a couple of years ago. I don't want to give away what year that was.
No, but I feel like we can find it on Google. So instead of save us that trouble and tell us, just how long have you been out of after?
I finished after 2012. I graduated in 2012. I finished 2011.
Okay, so you're old,
I've been out for 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's been out of jail for 5 years. Okay, I didn't know that was a joke. That was a very
yeah.
All right, Zweli, tell me, why directing and not producing or being the cameraman? Why directing?
Oof. So this is the thing. When I first thought of a director, I actually thought he was the guy behind the camera. Then I was enlightened by going to film school that's not the guy. So I just wanted to be, and in a nice way, not in control of the visual. And the funny thing is, the one thing I thought I wouldn't excel in is actually the thing that I excelled in the most, which was writing. Directing, I love directing, but I really love writing. And I think because I see it and you're creating that world, So writing for me is something that I didn't think I was going to love so much as I did. I love it. I don't know. It's actually so hard. Directing and writing for me, it's like, I love them equally.
So hence in most of the credits you see director/writer.
Yeah.
I want to speak about writing. Haji, is it Haj or Haji?
It's Haji.
Haji.
Yes.
It's almost the first short film you ever did.
I would say, yeah.
Or the first big short film.
The first big short film, because also I wanted to stretch myself there, and I was still a student.
Yeah,
but
I could see.
It was my last film of the year, last film of my time there, and I wanted to make a film that was outside of what I knew. So if you look at the film, it's set in the Indian community.
Yeah.
You think, what's a black person wanting to make a movie about Indian people in Fortsburg? Like, why?
There was I think maybe there was one black person, and he was a Nigerian.
Yes, and he came to yeah, exactly. So good friend of mine actually was actually, and why I wanted to tell that story was I wanted to challenge myself in the writing side of things. So I took a story that already existed. So this Haji, the book, has actually been in the school curriculum for some time.
Okay.
No.
And I was like, okay, I read this book, it moved me. So the only thing I only like to tell stories that move me. If I'm going to write something or take someone else's story, it's got to move me. That's why I got into film. Is that I was moved by the visuals that I saw. Or I think that's what really, and it's funny you asked this question, because I was asked this question 2 days ago by somebody interviewing me about what really made, and I think for the first time I've actually only been able to answer it like 2 days ago, was that it wasn't about the art, but more about what it did to me as a person that made me do it.
So that was a selfish piece for you.
So the Haji for me, it's like, I was moved by certain movies. They made me cry. They made me laugh. And I wanted to move people in a similar way. That's why I became a filmmaker.
So Haji is a very personal one.
So it is personal because it's also dealing with forgiveness.
Yeah.
And why people choose not to forgive.
Well, we're speaking to Zwelethu Radebe. I'm just going to stick to Zweli, really. And he's a filmmaker, film director, writer, and he has done quite a bit of stuff. And the commercials, I'm thinking to myself that the thinking process of coming up with an ad, of pitching and the idea, how much of that lies with you as the director, as opposed to the client knowing what they want?
Yeah. So in a nutshell, this is how it works. Client comes up with a brief that they brief an agency. Agency writes a script that basically sells that product or or brand. And what happens is that then once they've written a script and it's been approved by the client and they like the way it's going, they send it out to directors to pitch on it. So it goes three ways. You write a treatment, which is your rendition or your execution plan on how you would like to achieve the story.
What
and,
they've already said.
Yeah, and sometimes you might change the story, and sometimes you may say, well, look, this might work better, or let's shoot it in. Sometimes I get briefed on a script from Nigeria, and then they say to us, let's shoot it in Johannesburg. But I'm like, well, if you want it to feel authentic and real, let's shoot it in Nigeria, you know. So it's about, for me, my style is always authenticity. So even if there's no budget, I'll say, well, let's try and make it work and shoot it in Nigeria, because
it's a fire for
yeah,
free.
because it's gonna make it look real, and it's gonna make it feel real, and people will resonate with it more. So I'm a realist.
All right. Talking about Nigeria, Zwelethu, I mean, you have shot across Africa and Europe, right? And how was that whole experience for you?
I think filming outside of South Africa or outside of my country, what I know, is always exciting, because I always find people who shoot South Africa who are not from here shoot it in a very different way to what I'm used to. If you go downtown and I'll shoot it because my eye is so accustomed to this place or so used to it. My eye will only see it for what it is because of the time I've spent here. But someone who's not will shoot it and show me things that I didn't see before. So I'm always excited to see, because when somebody watches something that I've shot that's not from here, they're like, wow, that's a different take on the city that I've grown up in for so long. So I've been fortunate to be able to shoot within the continent, northeast, west, central, and southern Africa, and also in Europe, and been able to kind of what I love about shooting in the continent, though, is that I get to shoot with. I always want to work with crew from the place. I don't want to shoot there, come in there with South African crew and then shoot. Let's shoot with the people who are from there, because it makes the film more real and authentic. And sometimes, you don't, as a filmmaker, you only know so much. So if I have there's certain nuances that they will know that I will not know. Even as a South African, I know we say Africa is one country, but we're very different at the same time as in the different countries and different regions. North is very different to the east and the west and south. Yeah.
And I want the craziest story. I want that after you shot, you guys went to a bar and this happened. And
First time arriving in Cameroon, and we arrived at the airport. And we're driving to our hotel, and there's a madman in the street, and he's 7 foot tall. He's got dreadlocks that are about a meter going down,
7 foot,
and he's butt naked.
Sounds like Terminator to
and
me.
he's butt naked.
Yo.
And he's down the streets, and we just happened to be in a traffic jam, and this guy's heading right for us.
he was just gonna put his hand
And he's just like running, and he's pacing, and I was just like, guys, we gotta get out of here. So, and I mean, I swear to you, it felt like I was in a movie.
And you should imagine that would happen in Cameroon, because hey, Cameroonians are big and black.
Yeah, and they're tall
This
and
man
well built.
it was like the Hulk, honestly, physically built, naked, but even in his nudity, I was afraid. And he was coming straight for our vehicle. So
what was the last thing you thought about if you thought you were going to die at that point?
I just thought, I don't know. I just guys, we're getting out. I was going to jump the other side and go through. Guys, I wanted to get out of that situation.
Survival instincts. He was not even thinking.
So it was quite a nice baptism of arriving in
Welcome to Cameroon.
In Cameroon, Douala, because it's also it's very hot. I've never experienced such heat.
That's
before.
why I was naked. That's why he was naked. Yeah.
I think so. Then, so. And then there's that, and what else happened to us? I've also been stuck in the same country. We were stuck in the border between Cameroon and Nigeria in the middle of the night, and they thought we were Boko Haram.
Oh!
So one of the generals there, because we were shooting, was like he wanted to confiscate all of our gear. So I've gotten into very I don't know if you call it dangerous, but situations that were very nerve-wracking, because I'm in a holding area, and they're trying to
figure out whether or not
you. Well, not really a holding area. We're outside our vehicle, and there's a holding, a place that he's like a guardhouse, but in the middle of nowhere, and it's pitch black. I don't speak French.
And why were you there?
And I've got guys who are asking me questions that I can't answer, and they're asking for my passport, and I don't have one. Because I left it in our hotel, and then they're asking for for something to us to So it was.
Did you bribe them at the end?
And then my DOP was French, so lucky enough he could speak to them and understand what was going on. But that was quite
TOP, see, Susan Jargon, that's different.
Yeah, director of photography.
Did you say
Sorry.
TOP?
Oh yes.
DOP?
You see, I'm so used to talking these things I don't even know. I'm saying.
Don't worry.
Director of photography.
Cameraman.
Okay.
Cameraman.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. I'm looking at. We are having a good time in studio right now. I'm getting to know this. We figured out how old you are. Can we say it?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
Me,
okay.
yeah.
You're not shy.
Yeah,
No.
come on, he's a man. Men don't have a problem with you.
Oh,
They actually love it.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me if I'm wrong, if
Yeah.
I'm right. We're chilling with Zweli. He's 28 years old.
That's
Yay!
right. That's it.
The sounds of Mr. Camera. He calls that one Shikoka, all the way from Zimbabwe. He is on the vocals and he's on the beat. Mr. Camera is a dope. He's what we would call a bad producer. Bad producer. Think Gemini Major merged with Maporisa and put it all together. And he's worked with some of the best people around the continent. This is Guns N' Roses, and I'm out of breath because we were having a party behind the scenes. My name is Titi, and I'm hanging with Seno. And today we have got an extra person because we are cool like that. We get people to come and hang out with us in studio. And his name is Zweli.
I'm coming here every weekend, like I said, just to come and jam that track with
Just
the camera. No,
Okay, what about Maradona?
all of it. Let's
Yeah,
just jam.
Niniola.
Maradona, Yonke.
Yeah, Yonke.
I'm down for a turn up.
He's done. He's down for a turn up, and that's what we're hoping that you are ready for. And we're trying to prepare you for that. Like Seno says, we're marinating you for the turn up. Because I mean, like, it's Saturday, friends are coming with a 6-pack, or like me with a 5-liter. You know, either ways. Either ways, it's a party. Either ways, it's a jam. And right now, it's a party of the camera. It's a party of the minds. A party of the screens and the pens and the paper. Basically, it's a party of film directors and writers.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say.
All right, Zwelethu, tell me, for somebody who is sitting at home and has no idea who Zwelethu Radebe is, can you please tell us who is Zwelethu?
As a person.
As a person, yes.
As a person, I think, like, I don't know. I think I'm a very chilled person. Like, I'm very.
I know some might disagree, but
Yeah, sometimes, I guess. In situations, I've been told otherwise as well. So this is my point of view. Others may say other things.
Okay.
But I like a good time. So there's the serious side to me. There's actually, my work is like play, to be honest. So I really enjoy laughing a lot. I enjoy the good things about life, I guess. You know, I try not to focus on the negative a lot. So I'm a very happy-go-lucky guy who's really looking for a good time with people. And I'm an energy person, if I can say anything. I really interact with people who've got the same energy as me. So I can read people, I think, and I know who I can have a good time with. And most of the time, it's most of the people that are surrounding me. So
That's us.
That's you guys, exactly. So for me, I'm a very intuitive person, if I could say.
All right.
Yeah, I can be chilled in chilled situations. If we need to turn up, to turn up. If it's you know, I'm very flexible in my
Yeah. Where are you from? Like,
so okay, for me, I grew up in TK.
Okay.
So from up until I I made the decision to make film, I guess. So I grew up there, then we moved to where I'm still staying even now, which is in the northwest, which is by Walterfreden Park.
Okay.
And I've always been kind of in schools that are further away from where I work or where I live. So I've always been like scattered around Johannesburg. I know every area. I've been to school in every area almost. East, south, or west, or you know. I mean, that's where I come from. I'm from Joburg, born and bred. Yeah.
we're speaking about the man as a person, not a film director or anything. So I want to ask you your style. In terms of your style, I've seen you wear very interesting pieces of clothing.
Yes.
But I want to talk specifically about your shoes.
Yeah.
Tell me about what goes into, like, do you shop for shoes? Are you a shoe person? And if you're a shoe person, just tell me about your shoes. I want to know about your shoes.
So for me, shoes. So I've recently become a very good fan to New Balance. I'm a New Balance fan.
There is why
Okay.
There is why I asked.
So
I feel you.
I'm wearing Nikes now, but I've become a New Balance has just become my thing. I don't know. I've just had there's a new pair actually that I want to get. That's what I was looking at the other day. But yeah, I don't know, the 576.
Oh yes,
they're black.
yes.
They're really nice. So I just like New Balance. I don't know why.
So how many pairs do you have?
Of New Balance?
Yeah.
I've only recently started. Like I've had more Nikes than I have.
Oh, okay.
New Balance, but New Balance has become my thing. So I think I'm gonna stop on the Nike and look at the New Balance.
A man that picks his shoe nicely.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we now talk about and we want to talk. This is personal because we're in the personal side of you right now. So
I'm getting worried now.
don't be worried. Let you goes. We just eat you alive. That's all. Your girlfriend is from another race in a way, and we've had conversations generally in life, and we know that couples of different races have certain issues. Sometimes maybe, So I just want to find out from your point of view, how is it being with somebody that is not of your race, and not the problems of the society between both of you. The key
of it is that I've always been different cultures, and I've just been very interested in different cultures. Hence, like even a lot of my travels have been outside of the country, and that's also, I think, made me kind of feel like I don't know. It's like I'm always been interested in that regard. I think in terms of different cultures, and it's my fascination. So, in terms of me and my girlfriend, I think it began before, not the cultural thing really. It was just me being attracted to her and her being attracted to me, and then we hooked up. Outside of that, I actually, as interesting as it sounds, as much as we're different in terms of cultures, because her mom is Indian, her father's coloured, so she's mixed. She in herself is mixed. We are very similar. Our cultures are very similar in the way we do things. But then also there's obviously the way people receive that, the way people, the trials are the fact, well, not really trials, it's just how much you take, how much time I spend attention to it rather. Mm-hmm. That people, obviously not everyone likes that. Not everybody is, we were in one part of the country, and some people looked at us and they were like, name and shame.
Huh? Which part of the country? Name and shame. That's why we're talking about. We want to get to know. This helps us get to know you better. So
look, I mean, it's we were in Durban, and there were people there who were not really happy with what they said, some stuff, and I didn't hear what they said, but my girlfriend heard what they said, and I was like, okay, cool, and we moved on and we carried on. So, and then you obviously get the looks. The looks for me are the most common, because you see them all the time. People see you holding hands, or you showing each other affection, which for me at first I was a bit aware of, but now it's we've been together for some time, so it's like I don't really have time to be sitting at a restaurant with my girlfriend and be spending time thinking about what people are thinking about sitting here. So it's very secondary now.
Does that part of your life influence your writing style in any way? That's where this is all leading to.
I don't know. I don't know, but maybe it does. But I have always had a fascination. That's why, hence why I wrote the Hadri. At the time, if you asked me why I liked that film, I don't think I could answer the question.
But now.
But yeah, since I was a child, I've always just been fascinated with other cultures. Which I think has stemmed into my life outside of my work, I guess. Subconsciously.
All right, so tell me, Zwelethu, what are the biggest challenges that you have faced in this media industry, like film and all of that?
Well, I guess it's going to come back to race again.
Oh, okay.
Being black in advertising is difficult, because that it's because it is an industry that has a lot of how can I say it? It's very, as a black director, there's only a few of us. I can name us in I think with two hands. It's maybe 20% of the industry. I think even less, not even 20. In terms of directors, I'm talking specifically to what I do. So I don't want to be known as people want to see me as that. I want to be known as a director, as a filmmaker. One of my objectives is to be able to, even you'll never hear me say that I'm a black director. I'll say I'm a director. I make films and I happen to be black. Because when I walk into the room, you're going to see I'm black. So why must I announce it?
Yeah.
Duh. So for me, it's about being the best at what I can do, being the best at what I do exactly. So. Those are the challenges, because you get boxed into a specific type of work because you're black.
White script.
Yeah, and it's different sometimes, because you can have white directors being briefed on black stories. There's not one black person there, which really doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to me, But this is the industry. I cannot to be done. But these are things that I've seen. I'm not talking from what I think, but what I've experienced. Yeah. So these are the difficulties that are being fought from. Not only a directing point of view or production side, but from an agency point of view too, where agencies want to be able to have how can I say, the work distributed to
balanced out.
Exactly. So it's a constant battle. Even for me, I don't like to be known as a South African director, but as an African director, because I'm an African, and it's regardless of where I come from. It's about the work and the stories we tell.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a big thing for me, actually. The African nationalism, African side of me as a filmmaker, because there's a lot of things that I want to be able to achieve as a filmmaker, as an African, for the good of the continent and other African filmmakers to be able to see that it can be done. You know, yes, we start here at home in South Africa, but for the rest of the continent, that's very important to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also talking about race, can you just talk about your movie, The Hangman? It is quite interesting. Can you just tell us?
No, so again, and it's heavy subject matter here.
Yeah.
This film, but I hope I did it well. Because I looked at the film from apartheid, we know the story. You know, I didn't want people to watch and say, "Oh, here's another apartheid story." I try to look at it from a different point of view, which was what
happened to them.
What happened to them? So I look at a story, which if you narrow it down to what I'm really looking at, I'm looking at a story about identity and secrets, and the power of secrets, and how secrets can destroy families. And the film, in a nutshell, looks at a boy who's a black prison warder who works in a prison system, whose father left him when he was 5 years old, didn't say where he was going, and he's now
irresponsible father.
Which is father ran away, or father, you know. And I looked at it that, what if the idea of this black man was false? And without giving the story away, what if the idea of this black man was false? And without giving the story away, Ching Chong Cha.
Oh, Titi wins. Okay,
rock beats scissors.
Yeah, so my winning is that we're not giving it away. We're still going to talk to Zwelethu in a minute. Right now, we want to kick off the Tower 16. The Tower 16 is this point of the show where 16 DJs from around the station, 16 shows, they pick 16 songs. And we played at 16 hour different songs from around the continent. So we're going to be traveling through Africa right now. And let's talk more music, yeah?
This is Trans Africa Radio. This is Trans Africa Radio.